You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl. You know there's zombies on the prowl, and it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again, and you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time.
Hello everyone, it's Cornwood back again with another mod guide video. In today's episode, we're going to be covering a variety of weaponry mods, from a quiet way to train up your aim skills, to modern day weaponry, and even some ways to go medieval on those zombies' asses. But before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to Katophoenix for her lovely artwork. Be sure to check her work out down below, and once again, thank you for the support, I sincerely appreciate it. Now let's dive in and start capping zombies like the busters they are. Are you annoyed with the fact that if you want to train your firearms at all, you basically gotta ring the dinner bell and attract the entire neighborhood? Well, if this is the case, then have no fear, for this mod offers the solution to this problem. As these are airsoft pellet guns, they make almost zero noise, which means you can safely pick zombies slowly but surely off with these guns and grind those aim and reload skills in a much safer manner. Said sound can only be heard within a radius of 10 tiles, which is, compared to the shotgun's 200? Yeah, you're definitely gonna be able to use these a lot more reliably to climb those levels. Which also means when you start using the real thing, you're gonna be a lot more reliable with them. The airsoft shotgun shells also stagger multiple zombies, much like the regular shotgun, just doing much less damage. Each shot only does around 0.1 damage, and while you cannot repair these guns in the current mod build, they also have the same durability as regular guns, so they should take a good while before they break on you. Thank GZeta. This mod's quite a useful addition to the game. This mod allows you to go medieval in those undead freaks. With 39 unique weapons, you've got plenty of different options to have fun with. From blunt to blade to even a fucking hand cannon. There is no shortage of pain to bring upon the zombies. Now keep in mind, while these weapons are very rare, as they're only found in 3 places. That being tucked away in the wardrobes at home, found within storage units, and the other one I'll mention later. The tool you get is randomly selected when you open the bundle. Each one of these can be very helpful. Each weapon is extremely painful. They hit hard, and they have pretty damn good durability on them, taking forever to really heavily damage. Now once you have damaged them, you're gonna have to look in hardware spawn points for these 2 items, that being the whetstone and the leather strop. Both of these can be used to repair tools and restore their durability. However, the whetstone's the better find because it can heal a maximum of 50%, while the strop can only heal a maximum of 25%. This isn't even the whole mod, only 1/2 of the full antique armory mod. The other half, which will be saved for another video, covers the armor. I did it in this way because the creator allows you to select which parts of the mods you want to use, if you only want one of them at a time or such. One other thing I'd like to note is that after a set amount of time, zombies do be able to spawn with the weapons on or in them. The creator did this to offset the rarity of bundles just a little bit. Overall, it's pretty good work, Style Haunch. While a fairly simple mod on paper, this adds a new skill to the game, that being archery, and along with it a new trait, that being archer. This new trait is pretty powerful, especially at the low cost of only 4 points. It gives you 4 levels of the archery skill, spawns you with a bow and 20 arrows, and it gives you a 75% XP boost, so you're going to be leveling up faster. Now if you don't choose this trait, then you're going to have to build a bow and arrow. First, to make the bow itself, you're going to need a plank and a knife, and the appropriate carpentry level. Once you've whittled the bow stave, then you're going to need some twine to string the bow. Now that we've got the bow, we're going to need the arrows. Let's start with the rear and work our way up. An arrow needs feathers to fly straight, and so we'll have to improvise some fletchings. To do this, we'll need to require either duct tape, an empty bleach bottle, or playing cards. and we'll also need either scissors or a scalpel to cut them into shape. Now let's move on to working the shaft like a cheap escort in Vegas. To do that, we're going to need a sturdy stick and either a knife, a chip stone, or a hunting knife. Then finally we get to the head, and we can give this arrow its climax. And the easiest way to give the head its climax is for it to get nailed. By that, I mean you can either use a saw and 2 club hammers to crush a nail flat into an arrowhead, or you could do the same with a saw and either a regular hammer and a sledge or club hammer. Or if you don't have the nails to spare, you can also make arrowheads with a saw and either a butter knife, a spoon, or scrap metal. And bam, we've got everything needed to penetrate the zombies. Now all that's left to do is to take aim, cock it back, and release the string when you're ready to give zombies the tip. Keep in mind, the further the zombie is, the harder you'll find it to hit them. So get intimate, climb right up on them, and give them everything you got. In all seriousness, yeah, sneak up on zombies and shooting them with a bow is easier than trying to knock them down from a long distance. Now keep in mind that arrows and bows do have limited condition, but luckily when an arrow breaks, you can salvage the arrowheads and fletchings from them. Shot arrows can be recovered from either the ground or the body of the zombie if you hit. Sometimes the zombies will stutter and freeze when hit, but they still take damage or die like normal. Overall, you made a nice mod, Gluten the Sensitive, even if it can be just a bit unbalanced. This mod, created by Scavenger, added, like the name suggests, 2 new weapons. These are the reinforced baseball bat and the Viking axe, as well as giving the katana a brand new model to fit the theme of the other 2 added weapons. Another thing they share in common with the katana is their high rarity and their high damage. What I like about this mod is they add more rare, high damage items for the other skills. More importantly, for 2 skills that you'll actually be able to have trained somewhat easier, as well as have XP multipliers on them. In an attempt to not make them feel like the exact same weapons, each weapon in this mod have different stats from the katana. The bat, while slower and having less range, will knock a zombie the hell out with a good swing or 2, while the axe is a compromise between the 2, having less range and more weight than the katana, but more range and less weight than the bat. The katana remains functionally the same, with the only real difference is the fact it's a shiny new model, which does look pretty nice and fits the style of the other 2 power weapons. Keep in mind that these are very powerful weapons, but they can also be very rare, so as to not imbalance the game too much. Overall, you made a pretty fun and cool mod, Scavenger. Good job. Another medieval themed weaponry mod pack, but one that's much less extensive, but also much easier to find and use. This mod adds 9 new weapons of almost every weapon type. The only type that's not supported is the spear category, which is funny because there is a steel spear weapon, but it swings like a golf club and gives long blunt XP instead of impaling like the wooden spears, which ironically makes it less useful than the plain wooden ones. Now, every weapon can be found pretty much anywhere according to the mod creator Cynic Russ, but with a lower chance than other drops. While not quite as diverse or as good as Antique Armory, this is still a solid mod and expands upon the arsenal in a reasonable and easy to use way. For greater immersion, consider pairing it with the bow and arrow mod, and maybe a medieval armor mod and map pack so you can roleplay a ye old zombie invasion. You ever wonder why the fuck a crowbar just fucking shattered so easily? Or how a hard chunk of metal pipe just broke into an unrecognizable pile of scrap? When these are both made of a hard blow and pressure resistant metal? I know I do. This mod cranks the durability of 3 solid metal weapons way up, to the point of being nigh indestructible. And some other weapons that make sense to be stronger have also been increased in durability, such as the metal bar and the nightstick. These 2 have been increased in durability to the same as the original vanilla crowbar, which makes sense as you can't build buildings out of a metal that shatters in a few hits, and a cop's not going to use a plastic baton that just explodes on him in the middle of the riot. And why should you? It's nice to see lead pipes, wrenches, and crowbars get the durability increase they deserved. Thank you, Scruffy friend. I enjoy the logical changes you made to some of the weaponry in the game. Do you like guns? Do you like a whole fucking lot of guns? Well, if the answer is yes, and you want to please your inner orc, then let's bring on the Daka. Created by Brita, this creator didn't just add an armory of guns, he added the whole goddamn factory. With currently 120 different guns, 14 different melee options, and a huge fucking pile of attachments to kit out the weapons however you like, not to mention the guns that come from the mods that are required for this mod to run, there's just too many options for me to feasibly look at every single last item. But needless to say, you're gonna have a lot to play with. I'll run some highlights, however, of some of my personal favorites and the wildest weapons these mods add. We may as well start with the wackiest and most impractical of weapons, that being the XM 214 minigun. Taking a long ass amount of in-game time to load even one mag canister, due to each can holding 520 rounds, and each fully loaded can weighing 9.8 pounds, this is very much a you set up a fixed holdout position, you let her rip. Seriously, you do not want to be in a position where a zombie can sneak up behind you, but if you can dig in and open fire, it will decimate hordes. Next up, let's bring the boom with the China leg. With 2 different rounds that we loaded in this baby, you've got options with how you want to decimate the hordes. Watch me explode several hundred zombies and do the same, but the next time they're on fire! Who needs a Molotov cocktail you can throw when you can instead yeet one across the map and set the entire horde on fire, while also making a satisfying bloop? And it's also an effective way to funnel zombies into specific areas, as the sound of the explosion will draw zombies in and shuffle them around. There's also plenty of more conventional firearms. You've got a wide assortment of SMGs, rifles, machine guns, shotgun, pistols, and even a couple melee options. Now once you find these weapons, located in police stations and military areas, the ammo needed for them, as well as the magazines, you're going to want to start applying upgrades, customizing it to fit your style. Well, if you want to add attachments, you're going to need a screwdriver to apply all of them. If you want to enjoy this pack to the fullest and don't care about weapon balance, then I'd recommend just going into sandbox mode, increasing the likelihood of firearm spawns. There's quite a lot of fun here, and they just let you go hog wild. Well, I think we had quite a blast with some of these mods, and there's so many weapon mods out there, we could probably make another video or 2 just on weaponry alone. If you'd like to see more weaponry mods covered, then let me know. Feel free to pitch me any mods themselves you'd like. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for the support. Be sure to support the artist down below. This has been Core, and I'll see you next time.